Hi, I'm Brenda Fleming today, and I'm here with two very special guests, Christy Ortega and Debbie Shelton. And we are here today to talk about a very important organization they're with, 100 Women Who Care. Hello and welcome.
Thank you for
How are
having
you
us.
doing today?
Very well. Thank
Good.
you.
Okay, so to start, can each of you introduce yourselves and tell us your connection with Los Alamos?
Sure.
My name is Debbie Shelton, and currently I work for a nonprofit in Los Alamos that serves families. We have over 30 programs that serves families. I moved to Los Alamos about 3 years ago, so I would call myself a newbie here.
That's what we would call you too.
Yes, I know.
Great, and I'm Christy Ortega. I run the United Way of Northern New Mexico, which serves Los Alamos and Rio Arriba County. I am a third generation in Los Alamos, and I'm raising a fourth generation, so I'm not a newbie. And I find this community fascinating still, so I am always excited to find new ways to help.
Great. Okay, so we're here today to talk about 100 Women Who Care, and can you tell us about that organization?
Sure. It's actually 100 plus women who care now. That's the exciting thing, is I think we're about 112. And 100 Women That Care is it's a nationwide organization. So if you go and Google it, they're all over the United States. And we learned about it from a woman in Santa Fe that was actually part of 100 Women Who Care in Napa Valley, California. And we heard about it, and about 6 or 8 months later, we put together a small committee, Deborah and myself and a couple of others. And in August of this year, we had 100 women that care in Los Alamos. So it's a group of women that come together, networking, socializing, and raising money for the greater good.
Okay. And I watched a little bit about it. Everyone pitches in $100, and you vote on an organization. Is that how it works?
The structure is just that. Ours is a lot more free. We want the 100 women to decide how it's structured. The concept nationally behind it is that 100 women get together, they all pitch in $100, and you have $10,000. Our group has decided to meet 4 times a year and give as much as they can give each time, and we take those monies and allocate it where the group decides it should go. Our first one was aimed at behavioral health awareness and lowering the stigma to mental health issues in the community. And from there, we'll move into other areas that the 100 women decide they want their money to go.
Okay, so with this organization, you made a public service announcement. So can we view that public service announcement now?
We're from Los Alamos, and we have a problem.
Our problems don't have to be a secret.
It's normal to get help. It's not okay not to get help.
Self-care isn't selfish.
You don't need to hide.
It's okay to be a community that isn't perfect, but let's be a community that talks about its problems and takes steps to fix them.
Okay, so can we talk a little bit about the video? How do you feel this is going to impact Los Alamos, this initiative?
So the video was actually, we were trying to find a way, because behavioral health isn't like a, yay, I'm dying to sit down and talk to you about that topic with most people, which is the stigma of it, right? So we've been trying to explore ways where you can scratch the surface on the issue without, making people feel awkward or uncomfortable about talking about it, which is what automatically happens when you say, hey, are you having any mental health problems? And so one of the things we did was we had some stress balls. We made those with United Way of Northern New Mexico as kind of a part of it, because it's stress and everyone can talk about stress, and we all go to work and we're stressed out, or our kids are making us whatever the stress may be. And so this commercial was kind of the next step in that. And one of the things we'd like to do is we selected a few members in the community with well-known faces, so that people will know that no matter who they are in this community, getting help is okay, and it's normal. The word normal keeps coming up, that behavioral health, mental health treatment, those feelings are all normal. And so we're really trying to work towards normalizing it, and we hope that that's what this is on its way to doing.
Okay, so at the end of the public service announcement, there was the number to the New Mexico Crisis and Access Line. Can you tell us more about the ways that you want to promote people to get help? Like, what should they do? I think that's kind of like a vague thing to tell people. But it's really nice at the public service announcement you actually gave like kind of a doorway or something for someone to do to get more resources.
So our first step is just to help raise the awareness of what mental health issues are. And the first step really is for the severity of a situation to be analyzed, and from there you decide where to get the resources. So if it's a crisis situation, then 911 is a perfectly good option. If it's something that can wait till tomorrow or next week, there are a lot of resources within the community that can be accessed. There are many private practitioners that do mental health counseling. There is Presbyterian Medical Services who provides
Support and case management services.
Yes, case management services. There's just a slew of different resources out there.
And we're actually working on, a lot of people talk about, well, where's the list of resources in our community, and where's the list of everything? And lists are great, and as nonprofits and as these kind of groups, it's very hard to maintain a list. You can create a list, but tomorrow it could be the wrong names on the wrong list. And so one of the things we're recognizing is if we could find a way, and we've been doing some work with the medical center about putting together this list. We have the 211, which is a resource line, not as dedicated to behavioral and mental health, but does have some services and resources there. So by dialing 211, you may be able to find some things that you need. Also this New Mexico Crisis and Access line. The other thing we do have, and I don't have it with me right now, but I'm happy to share it, is a call, text, or write option for people seeking help. Because what we realized very quickly is everyone of all ages needs help, and not all people access information the same way anymore. My grandma wasn't real big texting, but the kids these days don't talk on the phone. So, we have a text app for the kids, and there's some really good ones going around the high school for that. We have a call. The crisis center is a call. There's some other calling lines. And then we have like a write, which is like a chat room or blog almost type thing where you can get help that way. And so we're trying to cater to or provide resources that cater to everyone's kind of ways of seeking information, whether it's help or other kinds of information.
Wow, that's pretty cool. You cater to all those ages.
Yeah, it's important.
That's really interesting. What kind of response have you received from locals with this initiative? Or did this just get started? When was this public service announcement and all these ideas forming? And
I think the beginning thoughts of 100+ Women Who Care started maybe last July. And so within a number of months, November was our second meeting. Our big kickoff was in August. And so the time frame has been very quick. What has been the response? We've been overwhelmed with support and people that do care. The community in general, their awareness and supporting it. We've seen a lot of organizations step up to the plate and be a part of it. Yes. Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, we've surveyed the 100 women or the women that have shown interest to try and find what kind of needs they wanted, to learn about or what they wanted to learn about in the community. And one of the interesting things that I found that was unique to this group is often you put a survey in this community out about things that are important in your community, and education always hits the top. So we gave like five different topics: education, behavioral health, environmental, arts, and then there was one other one. But behavioral health was by far the biggest interest with this group. And so that was a really good thing for us to know that, okay, this was a good first step for us. Because education usually wins, and education is incredibly important. We have a lot of great organizations doing that in this community. But the fact that these women all said without being coached or taught that behavioral health is important to us and we want to know more about it really kind of iced the cake for us on moving forward with this initiative. So.
Okay. Wow, that's really cool. I noticed on the LA Daily Post some of the organizations funded were Family Strengths Network, Firstborn Program, JJAB. Can you talk a little bit more about like these preventative things for behavioral health or what they are?
There's a wide variety of grants that were submitted, and we were able to fund 9 out of 10, and we're hoping, eventually the 10th will get there as well. It ranged everywhere from providing co-pays for people who can't afford a copay to go in and get some mental health assistance, to funding programs for high school students at the Teen Center to do de-stress activities and yoga, to
We had a really cool one from Firstborn, and this is one of the top needs in the community that we've seen as in our initiative to learn more, is postpartum depression support and treatment. We have overall, no matter what age group or what specific need, we have a lack of therapists in the community to provide the services at the level that we need them across the board. But one of them specifically is prenatal. And so we did fund the Firstborn program here in Los Alamos, a small grant to hire a firstborn postpartum nurse, depression maybe therapist nurse, to assist them in some of the work that they do. And so slowly but surely, we'll meet some of those needs.
That's amazing. I know 3 years ago when I had my daughter, firstborn, I signed up for it, and then they just didn't have enough people. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
can somebody come help me? But I told them I had a lot of family, so prioritize other people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know Family Strengths Network is really impactful for someone like me with young kids. So that's really cool to promote those organizations and get fundraising, because 100 Women Who Care, so everyone donates, and it's a lot easier than baking cookies.
Yeah, it was amazing, the response. I think we were all kind of like, oh my gosh, that just happened, and we raised a lot of money, now what do we do? And so it was kind of
very quickly.
Yeah, it was very fast, but then watching 100 women sit in a room and give away $18,000 is incredibly empowering for everybody sitting in the room. And so that, that means we're doing something right, and so
That's awesome.
it was very cool.
So do you cut, I know you said you had 112, but what if you get more involved? How does that work? Can you make a couple different groups, or?
So, it's kind of up to us.
It's up to the 100 women, and I think that
Maybe
we
1,000 women who
Sure,
care, or-
the sky's the limit, and our goal is to just do good things, and I don't think we necessarily want to divide and conquer. We're strong in our numbers, and that force behind us is very powerful. So I think we'll just, at this point, our goal is to just keep moving on.
And it's 100 plus women that care now, because we have the 112. And I think too, one of the funny things I was reading and researching it is, then you want to get the men to start saying, well, how come there's not 100 men that care? And so if there was ever 100 men that cared and wanted to get together in their own way, it would only benefit the community more. So.
Oh, okay. So if you're a man watching, rather than donate, you should just go start your own
Yeah,
group.
you can meet on the golf course. I mean, their options are endless, really. Yeah.
And it's not that we won't accept donations from anybody.
Right, right. The goal is to raise money and to give it to people in this community that are doing good things.
So if someone wants to join 100 Women Who Care, how do they go about that? Start with Google?
Oh, good. I would not start with Google. It'll send you right to Santa Fe. We actually, since we're so new, we do not have any social media presence. It's on our to-do list. But they can contact either one of us, and we can put up our contact information at the end of the show. And they're welcome to contact us and welcome to join us in February.
Okay, maybe I'll join.
It's awesome. It's very cool.
Okay, great. So if there's, is there anything we didn't cover about your organization or about this initiative that you'd like to talk about? I
think that the biggest thing to me is, we picked behavioral health in the first round, but the options, like I say, are open. It's about what the 100 women want to know and what they want to serve and who they want to help. And in our last round, we gave out 10 or 9 small grants. In the next one, we could give out $10,000 to one organization, which is some feedback that we got from these women. And so it's really how the women vote as a whole. And we just use SurveyMonkey. It's nothing fancy, but we give everyone their chance to speak their voice. And by doing that, you create this empowerment within the women to make these decisions and to learn. The education part of it, too, is something we didn't really talk about. But these women also just learned about 10 organizations in our community that are providing services that they may not have known about. So there's this whole education and educating the community population, because they're going to tell their friends. Mm-hmm. Maybe they didn't know what Firstborn did. Now they do, And so there's that element as well, but it's the sky's the limit, and we'll welcome anybody or any topics, and
What kind of other organizations are people interested in?
I think we had some people want like the arts, it's more of a topic or a category. Environmental, we have peak and a lot of environmental. We live in a beautiful place. We want to take care of it.
So can people contact you and be like, hey, can you check this out? Or is it usually the woman within the organization saying, this is what's important to me? or anything?
Again, we're at the beginning stages of the whole organization, and so as we move forward, we'll be tweaking all of those details, but anyone can give their input. The 100 women will be the ones that decide, the 100 plus.
Yeah.
100
we,
plus.
we don't want to lose our 12.
Right.
But they are the ones that decide where the monies go and what decisions are in organizing the group. We do have a small group within the 112 women that are going to step up to the plate to run the next meeting, which comes up in February. We are committed to meeting 4 times a year, so it's a quarterly event, and so each time some newbies in the 100 women plus will be taking on the challenge.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. This is really interesting. Again, we'll put the website and information, contact information at the end of the show. And thanks so much for joining us. It's really been an honor to talk to such inspiring people.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you, Los Alamos, for watching LA Times.